All right, hello everyone. Thanks for coming back to my channel. So today we're going to be going over my weekly trade recap. So it's been a wild ride for this whole week, and I officially blew the account, sort of. I decided to stop trading with such low capital, and I'm now deciding to trade with larger capital, which means I'm going to have to work to save up to make up for that large capital. So I started off trading with like $500. And although that is a great amount, it is not a sustainable amount because it feels like each trade is just hanging on by a thread. And I didn't like that feeling. It was just challenging me psychologically. I was entering trades that I shouldn't have been. I was I was strategy hopping between two strategies, and I was becoming a master of none. So I've decided to narrow down my tickers as well because I realized that it was kind of messing up with my psychology going through each ticker trying to figure out which one that I want. Okay. So let us let us leave. Let us go over sorry. Sorry, totally. So I'm gonna go over the trades that I went through last week. So on Monday I took 3 trades. We did Nvidia, Meta, and Amazon. And I would just like to preface this with saying there was absolutely no reason for me to have gotten in any of like 75% of the trades that I took this week. I panic bought and psychology was messed up. Genuinely, I think I went over them and I was going through some of them and I was like, why did I take that trade? There was no need. Yeah. Also, if you didn't notice, I'm revamping, changing this back to Bryn Trades. I know. I'm working on my consistency. Just don't worry about it. I'm working on it. Okay. So, as you can see with this amount, I didn't lose all the way up to that. I took out some. I think it went all the way down to like 64 or 94 compared to last time. Last time it was like 200 and something, and I lost. I won, lost. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start off either next month or the upper month and trade with larger capital because obviously I'm going to save for it. I'm not just going to throw money out there and, I'm not going to do that because this is me still investing into being a profitable trader after 4 years. So I did Nvidia, Meta, and Amazon that day. Let's see if there was a reason for me to have taken that trade. What I like to do on the 15-minute is mark up those zones. So I mark up the zones on the 15-minute, and I still need to try to remind myself to focus more on candlestick analysis rather than price hitting all the targets, because that's when high and low probabilities come into play. So I mark up my high targets and then I mark up my low targets on the 15-minute. I will do an actual official video of how I get into my trades, why I get in, and all that sort of stuff. So let's see if there was an actual reason for me to have gotten to Nvidia. So I go in, I know before I would go in on the 2-minute. Again, strategy hopping, and the actual mentorship that I took, that the strategy of it for options was actually getting in on the 1-minute. I believe I did the 2-minute because I realized I was getting a lot of fake outs, but I was getting those fake outs because I wasn't focusing more on candlestick price action. So on the 1-minute time frame, let's see how I'll have a bias. So as soon as price hits below here, I am now bearish bias. I would look for a pullback on the 1-minute, but then obviously you can see that there's a huge wick on this downside, and either I'm going to see price reverse and go to the upside, or price will come back down, break this low, and continue to the downside. But it didn't do that. So automatically, this should have been a disqualification. I believe I probably took calls for this. No, I believe I took puts. Let's see. I took calls. Wait, what day is this? There's a 5th, right? It's the 4th or the 5th? Hold on. It was the 4th. So where's the 4th on here? I took calls. Yeah, I took calls. I took calls even though automatically I'm supposed to have a bearish bias when price goes below that zone, breaks structure, gets a pullback and breaks structure more back to the downside. But I didn't. And I just went in. I thought price was doing a reversal, mostly because of this zone. So I don't know if you can see this, these two candles here, this little supply. Again, I need to be a master of one, not all. And my brain switched to supply. Yeah, we're gonna go in for calls instead of me not focusing on the major, the major strategy here. And obviously, I should have just marked this off as not interested. We're not doing it because price had already hit my low price target and my upper price target. And then there were huge wicks to the downside, huge wicks to the upside, candlestick strength. This is telling me that price opened up at this zone here, came all the way back down here, but then sellers came in to stop it at this zone, which is telling the market that price is going down below. So I got in. The reason why I got in was, obviously price came up to here and I was trying to take profit up here, but that obviously wasn't the case. I got out. Obviously you can even see that double top forming. And even if I decided to take calls at this zone here, I would have gotten in at this zone where price closed above that market open, and then I should have closed at my third price target, which is naturally what I'm supposed to do. So I would wait until here to get enough momentum, see if price is still continuing to the upside, but then price came all the way back down here, and I still would have actually gotten into profit if I had closed at this third price target. But again, I panic bought. I bought like when price had already, I'm pretty sure I bought when price had already gone through all three price targets. I was hoping instead of going through actual, strategy. I was hoping price would come all the way back up here to the fourth price target, even though that makes no sense. The reason for the fourth price target is if price opens up and scales it shoots through above all three price targets. And then I look for another price target to get to in case there's a pullback for price to go back up of breaking structure. And also all these green candles were like, in my mind, I was like, whoa, price is going up. Meanwhile, I could have just entered even here. I could have entered here or just entered at the end of this zone here to take profits over there. But according to the strategy, there was actually no reason for me to have gotten into this, mostly because of price hit this price target and price hit this price target, which means I would have a bias of none because I want to follow the direction of the market. And then there's that. So there should have been no trade taken at all. This should have been, let me do this. This should have technically been a no trade day. Okay. I kind of want to color that pink. We'll leave it white. Now the next one is Meta. Get into Meta. Let's clear this out. I believe Meta did the exact same thing. I'm just gonna go on the 15-minute. Oh, actually, looks like it didn't. So let's go back bar for bar. On the 15-minute, drop those zones. There's a zone right here. Zone right here. Zone right here. Another zone over here. Price closed over there. And let's just say another zone here. And then the third zone would be this low stack. Obviously, you could do a fourth zone. That's all the way down here. So I go back on the 1 minute. I see what price does. Price zooms across, okay? So I see price goes all the way up here, but I also notice that there is a wick at the bottom, a larger wick at the bottom, and a larger wick at the top. But this isn't as large as this. So, I'm still watching it. Technically, there's no need for an entry anywhere. Okay, price had just created this low here, which means now I'll be looking for puts. Let's see what I got into here. What is this? Meta? On the 4th, yeah, I got him for puts for meta. So this could have just been a rightful entry. But actually not a rightful entry because there's no clear direction. There's wicks to the downside, wicks to the upside. I shouldn't even be trusting this market, this sort of price action, literally because one, price went through all 3 price targets, right? But then there's a lot of wicks over here and a huge wicks right here, right here. This looks like a fake out, but it created a low, but there's no direction of market. You get what I mean? So like this is technically a range right now, and it doesn't even look like market was shifting to go in either direction. But I did get in. I did hope for a price to come below here for entry. This is looking like price is ranging. Okay. Again, if you notice, since I noticed that price is ranging from this zone, let me see if I can get a rectangle here. There is a range here. There's a range over here, and there's a range over here. And then price broke, but it didn't like shift. It stayed within the range, which technically this is telling me that price is indecisive, okay? So if I were to get in this trade, I would want price to look like this. And I need to remember this. I would want price to look like this. And also there is a huge, and when I see this, I should actually have like a confirmation of a candle. This over here, this over here had a huge wick at the bottom, which is telling me that price started at this zone here, was coming back down, touched this zone here, but then buyers stepped in and created a little bit of volume at that lower section for price to continue to the upside. But my thought was, okay, price came here. I went in immediately. I guess that's aggressive. I got in at this zone here, even though price was ranging. Price literally wasn't telling me whether it was like slanting down or going up, which is what I've noticed. Price was basically saying that, okay, we're going to be stuck in this zone. Let's get out of the zone first and then see where the market's going to get in. So essentially, if I wanted to get in, I should have actually had this as a place marker of, okay, one of the first signals that I would see. I would actually, if I wanted to get in for puts, I would actually now say that, okay, I want to see price go below this zone here. Mind you, this is me just analyzing, all right? I could be wrong, but to me, this is what the market is looking like. Price goes below here. It's technically telling me like, okay, now this is the start. This is the first start. I would want price to go below here before now entering puts. But then it was still coming back to that zone. Then price finally broke. And this could have been a signal for me to get in over here. Since price broke below it, would have gotten in over here to take profit down here with a stop loss of this zone because it just looks like it's ranging. But let's see what price did. Yeah, price still went up and I would have gotten out at this zone. But regardless, when you look at this, price ranged. You want a breakout in the beginning of the market because that's where you get most of, the market movement. But it just looks like price was ranging and then completely reversed on you and then literally went up all the way to that price target. And you see why I have those 15. Okay, let me actually tell you why I have those 15-minute markups, okay? Do you see how price reacts to those? Price reacts to each and every one of those zones. When price comes down here, passes, notice how it wicks over here, comes back up, wicks at the first one, comes back down, comes back up, goes back up, whatever. These are significant. That's why I think I like the 15-minute. The 15-minute just shows so much of market movement. See how it touches it, bounces, touches it, goes back down, goes up, it touches it, wicks at it. And that's why I think the 15-minute is just so much stronger because it shows the breakup structure of market. And that's why you get in, so that whenever price, goes all the way down, it comes all the way back up, it's whatever. So initially, I would say one of the reasons not to get into this is mainly because just those few moments at market open, this would be a low probability setup simply because of this range, simply because of the range that we have here. Price came here, came all the way back up here. I don't want to see price come actually all the way back up here. I want to see price come down, retrace a little bit, and then come back down. I wouldn't want price to retrace back up to a resistance level to come all the way back down. I want it to come to a point of a pullback, then break structure. So again, this should have been a no trade day simply because of market open range. Keeping this as a note to myself. Hold on, let me copy this because I have to erase all this once again. Now, let's go to Amazon, see why I got into this trade. Day is this? Okay, it's still Monday. Oh, so Amazon, I actually ended up getting, green that day, and it was very small green. Let's see why. Got one here. Oop. Actually, no, I like these lines. Makes it look cleaner. To mark up 4 price targets because these are a bit together, or 5 actually. And mark up bottom. It's really far, so go to the 1 minute, see why I got in. So immediately at market open, price hits all price targets, okay? At this moment, you don't want to really get in too much, even though there's long wicks at the bottom, but I am waiting for a pullback. I would rather get in a pullback and then a continuation than not. So technically, this could be considered a pullback so that I could enter at this zone here and exit at this 3rd price target while watching, candlestick price action. And that would have gotten me a, dollar move, which isn't bad. But because, I'm looking for those high stacks and low stacks, I was waiting for a high stack to appear before I get in for a 3rd. Or get in for a trade. So now that I've seen that a price target had appeared over here, I can now mark this as an entry for me to the upside. And I would go back to the 15-minute. See, this is why sometimes I mark it 5 times, 5 price targets. I go to the 1 minute. And now I'm waiting for price to pass this zone here because price has now hit all price targets that were drawn. Just wait for a pullback into the upside. And then price does its thing. It retraces all the way, but never retraces below that 1st price target too much. And I see boom, bam, boom, bam. Do you see that pressure that came through that previous low? That broke structure effective immediately. Now I would enter here for price to exit over here. And that would be a profit of $1.85, which is actually great. So one of the reasons why I was mentioning before is when price retraced and went all the way like in a, what was it, Meta? Yeah, see how like over here when price retraced, it almost hit here. And then I was trying to you don't want it to almost hit there. You want price to retrace below. I'm looking for price to continuously retrace. Well, in this case, retrace above. Now, if price came all the way over here, I would have been like, but the fact that price retraced, still stayed well within this price target and still continued to the upside, and then boom, past this price target as well to take profit over here. that was, you know, a good signal. Trade day. That is the good signal that price is continuously, you know, is breaking structure so that I can go in for a trade. So yeah, I can see why I believe I either got in this late. That's why it was only like $25. And I believe the contract was actually pretty cheap. Actually, I don't know. How much was it? 125. Oh, looking at the wrong one. Yeah, again, the price was $37. Sold it for 63, which is almost 50%. That's not bad, actually. So yeah, these are just like the instances of difference in trades for this day. Let me see if I don't know if I'm gonna go through the whole week because I feel like I'm still gonna find this exact same stuff. But essentially, I shouldn't have taken any of these trades and should have focused on Amazon. Let's look at Tuesday. God, why did I take so many? That's the thing. Oh, hold on. Okay, Tuesday I took 2 trades. Wednesday I took 1 trade. Thursday I don't think I don't think I traded. Okay, so yeah, we could still go over them. Tesla. Oof. Tesla and Nvidia. Let's go to Tesla and Nvidia. So let's add Tesla to this. And it's a Tuesday. Let's see what time of gold. Right. So we mark those zones. Whoa. I wouldn't even want to trade this because of the volatility in this zone. You never know. Tesla has been moving. Got one over here. Let's see. Got a price target here, 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 and then I'll do it over here. And go to the 1 minute. See what price did. Okay. So price had a bunch of movement, very volatile. Market open. I am watching to make sure that price continues to the upside. I see that price is going up here, although the candles are a little small and those wicks are popping up on the top. I would anticipate an entry at this zone here because my bias is telling me that price is going to the upside. And let me see. Let's see if I got into calls. Did I get into calls? I did. I go into calls. But again, you can see that there's a wick at this zone, but price still closed relatively okay over here. So I would have gotten it at this zone for a stop loss. Something smells like it's burning. For a stop loss of either below this candle or at this candle here. But because price moves so much with Tesla, I would put in a stop loss at the bottom of this candle, which is what I believe I did. So I got in at that zone in hopes that price will continue to the upside. And in fact did not. So this is still according to the strategy, just didn't lose. And you see how like I closed diligently. I closed and I could just be losing, you know, that much, which is fine, honestly. Still went according to the strategy. Price broke structure. And I was hoping that there was going to be a push to the upside, but, you know, consolidated a little bit here and then it zoomed past here with a, I'm not going to say demand. It zoomed past and went below here. This also does look like a You know what? We're not going to put any other strategy into this. All right. I'm not going to put too much into it. But yeah. Did it still go up after that? No. Either way, I wouldn't even want to look at it after it hit this zone or went below here. So that was okay. That was a great loss. That was a losing correctly day. Let's go to NVIDIA, see what happened there. I'm not going to replay. I'm just going to go on the 15-minute and see if price did its thing. Zone over here. I can already tell. Yeah, I can already tell there was no reason for me to have gotten into this trade. Let's see why. So the reason there was no need to get into this trade is because price had already hit this zone and price had already hit this bottom zone here. First bottom price target, which is supposed to tell me a bias to the downside. And then it retraced all the way back up into this first price target. And then price is choppy. There's no correct right movement. So there was no need for me to have gotten into this trade. Let me see what I chose. What did I do? I did a call. I believe I did a call because, honestly, I did a call because of this zone here. Price came below here and then closed above. So I was trying to catch a reversal. Even though my strategy is bias dependent, basically, I try to catch a reversal, even though clearly every time I know that a bias, whenever it even hits this zone here, it's just telling me that it's going to the downside. I just need to catch it in a trending way, but I didn't. And I tried to do a reverse. I did still end up getting some cash. You know, I exited at, I was only in this for a minute. I got in at 9:36, which is my 8:36. So I got in here. I got in here. And I exited somewhere here, probably. Or maybe even, yeah. Got out after a minute. No need for me to have taken that trade. Once again, I know I'm seeing the constant disappointment, and I actually do need to start watching these back so that I can like tell myself. I don't watch these back. That's the problem. I record it and then I just put it out there, but I need to actually like watch them. Now let me go to 6. Microsoft. What we got today for me, Microsoft? I don't remember taking this trade. Let's clean this up. Go on the 15-minute. Whoa, crazy. Now on the 15-minute, I'm gonna mark up those zones, see why I didn't get into that zone. So this should have been the first price target. And this is the first price target as well. 1, 2. I see. This price target over here. And then get to 4th because the price targets are really close. See, this is how I'm funneling out like all the good and bad trades that I'm supposed to be taking. So again, see how price, well, actually, this isn't a bad trade. I think because price was so close here, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. See how price created a low stack at this zone, right? It created a low stack at this zone. And it came down with full force, honestly. It came down with full force. But I think because price was so close at market open, and all the price targets were together, I believe that's why I didn't get an actual, gist of how the market is moving. But regardless, I would still say that I would have still gotten into this trade. It's just that it didn't take enough time to create a trend. But textbook, I still would have gotten into this trade for price to go. And then also, I also need to remember that when there is a large difference, like $8, $5, a difference in like the last price target, it's basically a signal for me to not get in because I need to watch whether price is going to be high volume that day before I decide to go in. So normal me would have gotten in, but according to the strategy, technically, and yes, this is it. This is one of my confluences. I want to see that price is going down. This isn't necessarily telling me price is going down. This just looks like market movement. You know, there's no actual pullback here because this candle didn't come like down. It's just another green candle that appeared. It's not necessarily showing me that price is like tilting. So yeah, no need for me to have gotten in this trade because I know that when there's a big gap here, it's more than likely that price is not going to drop that low unless there's some sort of like crazy news. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Let's go on to number 7. I didn't take a trade on Thursday, and I don't think I took a trade on Friday. But yeah, those are, I believe 2 out of those trades I would have taken wholeheartedly. This is like a half and half because I'm just now realizing after doing the back testing is that there's no price is not even telling me that it's going down. Although I would have a bullish bias at this zone, I would want to see price at least shifting to the downside. But this is just giving me, like, for example, I have this. I'm looking at this. I don't know where price is going. It's not telling me, even though my bias is bearish, it's not telling me that it's going down because there's an immediate green candle. It's different if it had like little green candles to the downside or little red candles to the downside, but it's just another candle that showed up, another indecisive red candle that popped up, and then a candle here. So let's say I'm actually looking to see if price is going down. You know, I can see, okay, price is shifting, which now is telling me that maybe at this zone here is what I need to be watching for a new pullback. So I would want another zone to be created under here. I would want a zone. Let me see if I can draw. I'm always terrible at drawing these things. Let's see. Can I? Maybe. Can I? Maybe. Where's the drawing tool? Isn't there a drawing tool? Highlighter? I think the highlighter is better than the brush. Let me try the highlighter. Yeah, the highlighter is actually better than the brush. So since price is coming down here, but I'm still seeing a lot of green candles coming to the upside, and this is technically creating a range. See how this is creating a range? I now want to see price come down here, create, oh, why isn't it making a straight line? Oh, it's black. Let's change that to like blue or something. So, oh, guys, let me delete these. What is this? Okay, so I'm looking for price to now give me a proper low, basically, because this is not telling me price is going anywhere, especially not the first 2 candles. I want to see that price is going down. This is still showing me a range. Still a range right here, and there's a range within this area. I want price to now come back down here. Zoom all the way. Okay, look, guys. Can I not draw a straight line? I want price to come back down here, come back up, create that low. I wanted to create that stack. I wanted to create this. Oh my gosh. I wanted to create something that looks like this. Okay. So yeah, that would have at least given me a bias for going like to the downside. But because it didn't, and I'm actually, you know, seeing this through back testing, it didn't. So it didn't pass this zone and then give me, get what I mean? It didn't pass this zone to give me a low stack or a swing low. Hence, probably why the trade was not that great. So like I said before, I'm obviously going to make a different video about this. I'm no longer trading these tickers. I'm now focusing on ETFs. And just like QQQ and SPY. SPY, I know a lot of people say they like looking at SPY, but I personally feel like QQQ has better price action than SPY. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's just the gist of it. Those are the trades that I took. I'm trying to be very transparent here. I've been on this journey for a while, so thank you guys for actually, you know, sticking with me, watching me, and seeing my journey as I become a profitable trader. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. God.